Yeah.
So we're in Atlanta, and so after they lose game three, people are walking around the hotel. I can't believe we got rid of Tibbs. We got to fire Mike Brown. We got to find a way to get Giannis. This was after game three when they were down 2-1. They win the next game. Then obviously they close it. We're going to the championship. I said, well, y'all got another series in between. But New York,
Right.
man, you're right. They're different.
Yeah. Oh, and I also feel like, and this is, I'm not trying to diminish the New York fan. I'm a Knicks fan. I'm in the city, but I do think, and this is all sports fans. All sports fans do this. I don't think the Knicks fan understands. I mean, maybe after last night they do how good Oklahoma City and San Antonio. Like that's another level than they've seen here with the Hawks, the Sixers, and the Cavaliers. In my opinion, I don't know what you think, but I don't. You know sometimes the Knicks fan likes to act like a championship has been won. Be careful.
Yeah, actually, I 100% agree with you. Actually, I think the Cavaliers series for the Knicks is going to be a step up because, Atlanta's got a bright future, but they're not ready yet. The Knicks,
Right.
then obviously the Sixers are, Joel's not healthy, and that's a tough, but the Cavs going to be a tough test. But, man, let me tell you something. I was so excited to watch that game last night.
That game. Let me ask you one thing on the Knicks, and then we'll go one
Sure.
last thing on the Knicks. I'm just curious. Now we're taping on Tuesday, so the game one is Tuesday. Pod will be out Thursday. I'm just curious. Do you think the long layoff affects the Knicks, not just game one, but for the series? Or if they are affected by the long layoff, is it just one game and then they'll get back in the groove? Because they haven't played in 9 days, the Knicks.
Yeah, I don't believe in resting because I've been BSing for a long time. Going back in my 40 years, if the team wins the first game, they said the rest did them good. If they lose, they said that they were rusty. So I don't
Right.
believe in the BS that goes with that. Listen,
Yeah, yeah.
the only thing you lose is a little bit of competitive edge. The rest is always going to do you good from a physical standpoint, but you do
Right.
lose a little competitive edge. But I think, yo, man, you in the conference finals, you should be ready to go.
Right.
Period.
And speaking of ready to go, we had a classic on Monday night. Funny thing is, you ended up becoming a little part of the story because Wemby with the 41-24 points, first guy to do 35-20 in a conference final game since 1993, and the gentleman who did it was Charles Barkley.
Yeah, that was what I saw. That was a really nice thing. Bring back some great memories. Great memories. Hey, I was talking to Mike Tirico the other day, and I said, "Yo, man, that's this a big boy heavyweight slugfest." And I think after watching that game last night, double overtime, and Wemby doing what he did, I could go for seven more of those.
Yeah.
Jimmy, I
Yeah.
could go for seven more of those. We knew it was going to be a heavyweight slugfest, and it was a heavyweight slugfest right out of the chute. So I can't wait. But like I say, but I'm not going to sleep because every series is different. Like
Mm-hmm.
people assume that is for the championship. I said, yo, man, you can't sleep on the Knicks or the Cavs because uh, every series is different. I mean, you assume like, yeah, I heard some people saying that's for the championship. I says, hey, don't sleep on that, man, because anything can happen. But man, I was excited to watch that game last night. I'm excited for our game tonight because the conference finals are special
Yeah.
because it's kind of like the Final Four in college basketball. You put all that time and effort into it, and you're this close to the finals. And for two of these teams, it's going to be heartbreaking.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I had said before the playoffs started in talking about sort of the themes and where we would be with this, that I felt this playoff was going to be the Victor Wembanyama coming out party. I wasn't expecting this. I mean,
Yes.
that performance on Monday night, that's an all timer right there. That is a historical performance, what he did on Monday night.
Oh, it was definitely historic. Number one, his first and you factor in because I wasn't part of it, but I remember the night that David Robinson got MVP. and Akeem went crazy because he thought he should have won MVP. It was kind of like that last night with Victor and Shea. I mean, you
Yeah.
couldn't have scripted it any better. I mean, you think about that. It was the exact same situation with David and Akeem and O'Shea and Victor. You're like, oh, that. And I remember Hakeem had said, he says, they're giving that man my trophy. And hey, which is one of the great lines of all time. He says, I can't believe they're giving that man my trophy. And
Yeah.
Victor, and the thing I love about Victor, number one, he's humble, but he speaks the truth. When the reporter asked him last night, when Shea was getting the MVP, were you thinking that should have been my trophy? He just says, yes. And
Yeah, I love that.
yeah, I love that too. But
Yeah.
man, listen, I was surprised how big a margin Shea won the MVP by. Because I thought there was 4 guys should have got votes. Obviously, Victor and Wemby and the Joker and Jaylen Brown. I thought those 4 guys, if you voted for one of those 4 guys, you would have had a compelling argument. But I was really surprised Shea won it as easily as he did. And Victor came
Yeah.
in third. He didn't come in second.
What did you make? Because it ended up becoming a little bit of a controversy. What did you make of Shams breaking the MVP on Sunday morning when it was supposed to be announced Sunday night? He got some flack for that, which I don't know. I think he's a reporter. He's supposed to do his job. What'd you make of that whole thing?
I like him a lot, but I didn't like that leaking. That network paid $2.5 billion for the next 11 years.
Yeah.
2.5, which is the reason we lost to NBA because we couldn't come up with 2.5 billion for 11 years. I think they deserved an exclusive. I think the NBA should be embarrassed that got out. You can't charge these networks that much money and then don't give them some exclusive on some things. I mean, I just think that's unfair.
Yeah. Speaking of the TV deals, so you guys, we're in this. I still don't know if fans fully understand the inside the NBA deal where you air on ESPN, but the show is still being produced by Turner and it's out of Atlanta with Turner and Warner Brothers, Discovery, whatever you want to call it. I'm always going to say Turner.
Listen, it could be Paramount. You never know, Jimmy.
Right.
First
Right.
of all,
Right. It's Paramount. Yes, I forgot about that. True.
Yeah.
There's been 2 themes. One, sort of like the disjointed schedule and whether the show is still the same, et cetera, et cetera. How would Charles Barkley assess the first year of this arrangement with Inside the NBA airing on ESPN?
It's been perfect. And I don't throw that word around lightly. They have been amazing to work with. I wish we could work. We only work one time in December, one time in January. I think that Adam Silver's got to get a hold of this thing. I think the games are too disjointed right now. Like NBC, Peacock, Amazon. I think we have disrespected the fans. They don't know when the games are on. I just think that's really unfair to the fans. And I understand Adam. I love Adam. Adam's a great guy, but
Yeah.
he took the most money. But man, it's hard for me. Like when we weren't having games, I had to go to my app and see where the game was at. I was like, is it on NBC? Yeah. Is it on Peacock? Is it on Amazon? Right. The nights we haven't been working. So it's been frustrating for me. I can imagine how frustrated it is for the regular fan. And I think I'm not sure what the solution is because they've taken all the money now, but they've got to do something because I think we've done a disservice to the fans.
Yeah, early in the playoffs, it's a mess. I mean, now we're in a good spot because you guys, ESPN/ABC has the East. We know NBC has the West, so you don't have to think
So let me ask
it.
You a question. So I don't even know this. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Do NBC have exclusive, or they have to share with Amazon?
They are. If I'm not mistaken, they will be rotating next year. Prime Video will have a conference final. NBC will not.
Okay. See, it's hard to keep up with it, man. I didn't even know the answer to that question. At least that's a little bit better. Now, are they going to show all the games on NBC?
I believe, yeah, they won't do a Peacock exclusive for the Western Conference Final.
And they should not. It should be on
No,
NBC.
correct, absolutely. Yeah, the schedule. I fight this battle constantly, but you either get told you're old or everyone has Amazon. So what difference does it make? But that's not sort of the point. But I don't want to rope you into that discussion. But let me ask you this. So the schedule has been one thing with inside the NBA. And I think even ESPN, I think Burke Magnus has even said they want to have more of a flow next year for you guys and not have happen what happened this year and maybe switch it up and make it more frequent next year. There's also been, I've seen a couple of things out there saying like the show's not the same, meaning the content of the show. How would you respond to that?
I don't know about that. I mean, I think when you don't see us enough, it's hard to assume what's happening is happening, to be honest with you. I don't think we changed anything. It's interesting. I For what it's worth, I've had a great time with ESPN. I think all the guys have. They come and watch the show. I ask them, hey, y'all happy with everything? Because we're in a relationship. I want it to work for everybody. I've called Burke. I've called Tim Corrigan. I said, hey, is there anything y'all unhappy with or want us to change? And as long as they're happy, listen, we ain't going to, I don't think we've changed anything. But listen, even that, man, Jimmy, the number one thing should always be the game.
Right.
Our job, number one, we want people to have fun. We're trying to entertain people. I think that people don't understand. We're on television from 7 o'clock to 2 in the damn morning. How much basketball, first of all, how many people actually know a damn thing enough about basketball for us to exit over them from 7 to 2 in the morning?
Right.
So we try to split it up. Number one, we hope we have a great game, but we have an obligation to entertain people too. I mean, do people really want to see us four dummies sit there from 7 o'clock to 2 in the morning and talk about picks and roll, blitzes, over under, elbow wings, and things like that?
Right.
I mean, so listen, man. I want people to have fun watching basketball.
Yeah.
Period.
It's different strokes for different folks. I mean, I much prefer the entertainment. Listen. Anytime you call Shaq a fool, I laugh. So I'll take that over a pick and roll. The word fool is not used enough as an insult, and it is a great insult. It's not too nasty.
No, it's not.
But it's a perfect shot to get at someone.
Yeah, and I love getting at Shaq, and I love calling Kenny that too. But like I say, Jimmy, you just hit the nail on the head. Man, we're trying to entertain people.
Right.
Listen, because there's two different audiences. I've always said this. There's two different audiences, in my opinion. There's the regular basketball fan, which they there. But if you're sitting with somebody, if you're sitting with a wife, a girlfriend, or your kids who don't know anything, like, I don't want to leave my daughter in the other room in her childhood. I want her watching basketball with me. I'm trying to entertain that kid or somebody like that. If you got a son and you like, make sure your son laugh and have fun watching basketball, because they don't understand all the intricacies of the X and O's and things like that. It's like, they blitz in this pick and roll. Dad, what does that mean? That means they're going to double the pick and roll, or they're going under, they're going over, or they're hedging. We could sit there for 5 hours and talk like that, but nobody understands that. We want people to have fun watching basketball because you know what? It's stupid basketball. We're not saving the world.
Right. Of course.
Yeah.
That's what so many people forget sports is entertainment. So many people forget that. But listen, you guys, you still have that ability to cause a stir because obviously the whole thing with Draymond Green got massive, massive attention. Before I ask you a question about that, I said this before and I've said it after. And maybe you'll tell me it's too much work, but I'm just curious about one thing. Forget Draymond. Take Draymond out of it. If one of you guys is out, why do we need a fourth? Like if Shaq's not there, the show's fine with Ernie, Kenny, and Charles. If Charles isn't there, the show's fine with Ernie, Kenny, and Shaq. Like the mentality that there has to be a fill-in, I don't understand when it's you guys that everybody wants to see anyway.
Yeah, I don't have any control over that, to be honest with
Right.
you.
That's true.
But
Yeah.
I don't mind guys coming in
Yeah.
because
Okay.
number one, it gives them visibility to get other jobs.
Right.
When Jalen comes in, Jalen does our college basketball. So that gives him exposure, and he does an amazing job
Right.
with his academy back in Detroit and things like that. I mean, so and then with Draymond, obviously he wants to go into television when his career is over. So I don't mind. I don't. It doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
Uh, be honest with you.
Now, I had to get a kick out of Draymond. So when he said the line about he didn't want to be you with the Rockets, which everyone sort of, said, well, look at Charles with the Rockets. His numbers were as good as Draymond's with the Warriors. What I found interesting was afterwards, I guess after all the blowback, Draymond on his podcast said, Kenny didn't hear the line. That's why he didn't respond, which I thought was really weak of Draymond to say that. I don't know, how you feel about it, but Kenny heard the line. Let's not play that because you guys didn't sell. If he wants to say it was a joke, in wrestling terms, WWE, you have to sell for your opponent. There was no selling there. So I guess, I don't know if he took that as like you guys weren't good teammates there, but what's been the fallout from that whole situation?
Well, I was surprised how many people came to my defense, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I'm not sensitive. I say stuff about players all the time. I hope they don't take it personally. I know they have at certain times because I've gotten a call from them or their agent, or they've taken a shot at me on Twitter or something like that. But I don't overreact when guys get mad. So I didn't get mad when he took the shot at me. And I've said this before too, Jimmy. I was embarrassed my last 2 years in Houston because I was shot. I did not play well at all. People were pointing out those 2 years I felt like I was shot. They were better than Dre's career numbers. I'm like,
right.
But I said, but no, man, I didn't take it personally. Like I say, I don't get sensitive. I can't get on TV, radio, your podcast, and say things about people. And like if they get mad or say something bad about me, act like a little witchy. So I didn't take it personally. But I will admit this: I was really appreciate all the people who went after Draymond for saying that. I really appreciated that because I tell people this, and you can bring up anything I've ever said in the past. I've never taken personal shots at guys. That's my number one rule. I like you can say a guy sucked at basketball, you can say a guy didn't play well, and blah blah blah. But when you're in the media, it's such a powerful thing. It's a powerful thing because people are idiots. What I mean by that is, Jimmy, they believe if they see it on television, somebody said it.
Right.
That it must be true. And I said, that's not true. Some of the stuff these guys, they're just playing, especially the politicians, they're just playing characters on television for whatever party, and both parties are awful. Let's get that out the way.
Right.
But they're just playing a character for a party on television. So I take my job really serious. When I criticize a guy, that doesn't mean I'm right. I want to be factual and I want to be fair.
I think what rubbed people the wrong way is that he did that on your show. Like I'm thinking, let's say he's sitting at his locker on a stool and he makes that comment. It's a big deal, but I don't think it rubs people as badly as it did of him doing that on your show. I think that was a lot of the underlying thing about it.
And I think so too. But like I say, I really appreciate it because people were sending me clips of people going in hard on Dre. And I really appreciated that because, Jimmy, we've gotten to this thing. You would think that I'm the only guy in the world who's never won a championship.
Well, I wouldn't think that because I'm here in New York and my guy, Patrick Ewing.
Yeah.
If you say
but nobody ever mentions it all the time on television. You would think no, and like I say, I can laugh about it and joke about it, but sometimes I sit back when I'm watching things. You would think I'm the only guy in the history of sports who hadn't won the championship, and
Right.
I was like,
Right.
well, Charles Barkley never won a championship. I'm like, am I the only person that never won a championship? You know, and you
Yeah.
just, and that's the reaction you just did. That's my reaction
Yeah.
because I'm like, man, I'm just sitting at home catching strays. You think I'm the only
Yeah.
guy that has never won the championship?
Right, right. I know, and people don't. I think a lot of people, maybe younger, don't understand that era too. Like I know Ewing, he got blocked so many times by Jordan, and then there's so many circumstances that go into winning a title. It's not an easy thing. There are so many things that can go into what you could have the best season of all time. You get an injury in the playoffs, boom, your team is done. I mean, it's a lot of uncontrollable factors go into that.
Well, let me tell you some controllable factors.
Yeah,
The It's going to be difficult for anybody between OKC and San Antonio. It's going to be difficult for anybody to win the championship in the
right,
next
right.
five. I saw a crazy stat that the guy was talking about the Spurs yesterday about how young they are and blah blah
Yeah,
blah blah blah. And the other guy comes on. I forgot who it was. He says, "You know what's crazy about the stat you just gave? How young the Spurs are? OKC is younger by average if you average out everything." And
right, right.
I said,
Wow.
whoa, that's a crazy stat right there. When you
Yeah,
average
yeah.
out the guys on the teams, OKC is actually younger because everybody talks about Victor and Castle and Harper. They're the three young guys, but they got some older guys, but Fox and Barnes on the end of the thing down there. I said, but if
Yeah.
you actually look at it from a statistical standpoint, OKC's got a younger team. I'm like, man, it's going to be rough for the next 5 years for anybody in the West or anybody in the East to win a championship.
Oh, speaking of age in the West, you made the comment a couple of minutes ago. You said you were shot in Houston. Now, LeBron is not shot by any stretch of the imagination, but me as a LeBron fan, I don't want to see him hanging on to where he's, a 10-point, 2 rebound guy a night. How much longer do you think? It's all speculation, but how much longer do you think he plays, LeBron?
That's a great question. Number one, I hope he goes back to Cleveland. I think that'll
Okay.
be a great way for him to finish his career. If he stays in LA, they're not going to be competitive because
Right.
and also at some point they got to turn the team over to Luka and let it be his team. And you're not going to get better as you get older.
Right.
You're not going to get better. Your numbers are going to continue to decline every year. But the main thing, the Lakers got to start the Luka Doncic era at some point. I think Cleveland would be a perfect fit for him. Uh, because that team is too inconsistent. And he's such a great worker. He'll stop some of the inconsistencies. And if he were to go to Cleveland, Jimmy, honestly, I think they'd be the favorite in the East next year. Now, obviously, New York, Boston gonna have something to say about that. Probably Detroit also. But if you were to put LeBron on that Cavs team right now, they'd probably be the favorite in the East. So I hope he goes back to Cleveland. To be honest with you, I think that'd just be a perfect way to him to end his career.
Hmm. Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. I just he yeah, I almost thought it didn't really happen to the playoffs, but I thought during the regular season he wasn't even getting. I don't think he was getting credit for the way he was playing at his age. It was insane what he did this year at that age.
Yeah,
But
listen, he takes amazing care of his body. I've heard he spent $1 million on his body. I think the the NBA today is different than when I played. Like we were getting off road. We used to describe it. We were getting like off road mileage on our body. LeBron has highway miles on his body, just smooth sailing. There's no
right,
physicality in the game, and that's
right,
not a knock. That's just a fact. There's no
right.
physicality in the game, so he's never had any major injuries and things like that. So, but like I say, if you keep talking to Father Time, at some point he's gonna talk back to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, one more year in Cleveland. That could be fun. The NBA would like that. They'd get a lot of mileage out of that too. I think it would be better to get him out of the West, so that maybe you could have him in the finals against one of the West teams. Because, like you said, the
And
Lakers, he's
listen,
just going
if he could win a championship in Cleveland one more time, that would
right.
be the perfect drop the mic moment.
Yes.
Because listen, let's be honest. There's no way that Laker team gonna get through the Spurs and OKC. I'm not even sure they get past Minnesota going forward.
Right.
Uh, so, like I said, he's just gonna get older. So the notion that he's gonna keep playing at that level is just not gonna happen.
All right. Let me ask you some just random questions here, just to pick the brain of Charles Barkley and get your take on some things, because you have takes. You work the tournament every year. They're expanding. A lot of people pissed off. I think what people have to understand is when the tournament actually starts on that Thursday afternoon at noon, when you're in studio there with the fellas, that part of the tournament is going to be the same. So I don't, you know, keep that in mind. But what do you make of the NCAA expanding all the field for the tournament?
Well, one thing I know about people who got money, you know what they want? More money? More money, Jimmy. People with money want more money.
Yep. Yep.
Listen, nothing as bad as college sports are right now, nothing can screw up March Madness.
I
It's
sort of feel that way too.
it's
Yeah.
other than the Olympics, it's the second greatest sporting thing I've been involved with in my life. The Olympics are the coolest experience of my life. March Madness is the second coolest thing. There's nothing can screw up March Madness. Now, man, clearly it's about money. And listen, uh, this thing is so out of freaking whack right now with paying these players. I'm not opposed to players getting money. I don't want to act like I'm a hater, but this thing is so out of control and out of whack right now. The NCAA got to find a way to make more money because they're going to, because they transport all these teams, hotels, and things like that. But man, we're gonna have to have some grown folks come in the room at some point. We can't be paying guys tens of millions of dollars a year. We can't have total unrestricted free agency every single year. I mean, I think me and you would like a job where we could go to the highest bidder every single year. Like that is crazy and insane. I
There was
used
some stat. I don't know the number, but I remember like the day after the tournament ended, there were like, 8 million kids in the portal. Like it was something ridiculous.
Well, you know what's crazy? And we had Dustin May on me and Ernie's podcast. And I was doing some research, getting ready for the podcast about, 'cause I want to know more about the college system. Dave said that there's 2,000 kids a year average going in the portal, but
That's
only a
crazy.
thousand of them are getting picked up. And so there's 1,000 kids are still sitting at home at the end of the year on their grandmother's couch, which is a dirty little dark secret that nobody talks about.
Right.
So,
Right.
and I worry about these kids, Jimmy, because most of them are black, number one. And to put an uneducated kid in society and think they're going to be successful, because my biggest whole problem, we changed the whole college landscape for 1% of the people. Probably 1% of these kids gonna go on and play pro in all sports. And probably were getting screwed by not making money when they're in college. But that don't mean we should have screwed up the whole college landscape for the 1% is what we did.
Yeah.
And now it is so out of control. Like I say, these kids literally can transfer for more money every single year. Some of these kids are going to 4 different schools in 4 years. That's crazy. That makes
Yeah.
zero sense whatsoever.
Yeah. I agree. I agree. It'd be interesting to see what that opening round is there with the tournament with all these teams in it.
Well,
But
how are they going to do it? Because, we start that thing on Tuesday and Wednesday.
right.
So now, how are they?
I think they're going to have games all day long, and they're going to have them, going against it. It can't just be, like they do it now, Tuesday night at 7 and 6 and 9 or whatever it is. and then Wednesday night, 6 o'clock. Now they're going to have them all. It's going to be like the tournament. They're going to have games all day.
It's gonna be a logistical nightmare trying to get these teams here. If they playing Tuesday and Wednesday, like it's gonna be interesting how it's gonna be a logistical nightmare for the committee and all the people who do all the flying around.
Yep. You'll be good though. You'll just be there Thursday. You'll be ready to go at noon.
I actually enjoyed doing the Tuesday with Dick Vitale. I enjoyed dating.
That was great.
Yeah,
that was great.
You know, that guy's an amazing dude, man. It was an honor and a privilege. You know, I had been trying to do that for 13 years, and they finally let us do it in November in Kentucky, Indiana, which was awesome. And then they're like, hey, would you do a first 4 game? I said, if Dick gonna do it, I would love to do it. And we had a blast, man. And Dayton, Ohio was a fun city. They sold out both nights. It was pretty cool.
It worked out well because poor Brian Anderson didn't have a voice, so you and Dick got to do all the talking for the game.
Oh man, he's so good. He's so good. You know, we so lucky between him, between BA, Kevin. You know who's great? Who don't get a lot of credit? Sean McDonough. Who?
Oh yeah,
Sean McDonough's great. You know, I always admire those 3 guys because the ability to go from sport to sport. Like I've been watching a lot of hockey lately. Oh man!
I know
shout out.
Well, that's what I was. It's so funny because I was going to ask the 2 things I was going to ask you was in watching all these other networks now, who do you like to listen to? Who has stood out to you? And I'm glad you mentioned Sean because Sean is awesome. I think he's the best college football announcer there is today, and I know. You know, he has the NHL as well. And I was going to ask you, I know you're a big NHL guy.
Yeah.
How have you enjoyed the playoffs? So if you want to combine that. And
man, the playoffs been crazy. I was rooting for Buffalo last night. That was heartbreaking. But the Avs going to be tough to beat, man. The Avs look like they are a juggernaut. It looked like Carolina's the team to beat in the East. You know, but I did notice something interesting when I was looking at some stuff this morning. The Canadians were 3-0 against Carolina this year.
There you go.
Even though Carolina had the best record in the Eastern Conference, Montreal beat them all 3 times, which is a crazy stat, I might add.
Yeah.
But that's going to be a heck of a series. But Vegas against Colorado, I don't see anybody. Just watching Colorado, they're just steam racing people right now. But, man, I love the Stanley Cup playoffs so much. I mean, it is just so awesome. But I can't.
What do you like? What do you like about McDonough?
Like the ability to go from sport to sport, like and know names, situations. Like obviously the college football, that's just expertise. But to switch to hockey, which is so fast, I mean, that is like he doesn't miss a beat when he does hockey. And I'm like, wow, that's incredible. That's like when I was watching the Olympics, Kenny Albert, man, he was so sensational.
Yeah.
And Kevin Harlan does that too. Him and BA, how they go from baseball to football to basketball. Like, it's incredible, man.
Yeah. Ian, too. Ian's another one who's across.
Yeah, Ian's great. I like to give him a hard time because his name's supposed to be Ian. He just says it differently. He's another one. I mean, they do all these sports. Those are guys who are impressive to me. Like I say, to be good at one sport is another thing, but to have that seamless transition and be able to do it, and like, because if you didn't know what you were talking about, the fans would know right away.
Right.
Yeah, they would know right away. But the way all of them do it so seamless is incredible.
Yeah. Tell me about, I heard you on with Chris Mad Dog Russo a few weeks ago, and you mentioned that you had spoken to Michael Jordan. You guys were going to play golf in the offseason. Dog had a great reaction. He was like blown away, which is funny. And then I heard you that this sort of coming together happened because of Vince Coleman, which me as a guy grew up in the 80s. I remember that how Vince Coleman, it's so sad baseball today doesn't have players like that.
Yeah.
He would steal like 130 bases in a season. Like those guys sadly are no more in baseball. But how did it become where like you and Jordan became good friends with Vince Coleman? I'm fascinated by that.
Oh, Vince has been in our inner circle for 40 years.
Wow.
Yeah, Vince has
Wow.
been a Vince was actually a neighbor of mine in Scottsdale, and I played golf, and Michael played with us all the time. But Vince has been a great friend for 40, got to be 40 years, and
Right.
just great friend. Like I say, he was a neighbor of mine for probably 20 years. And how the thing came about, he called me on the phone, and
Mhm.
I just saw his name, and I said, and this is the way we talk to each other. Hey, mother, what's up? Mother Alpha, what's up, Bobby?
Yeah.
He said, hey, no, man, it's me, it's MJ. I said, hey, man, what's happening? How you doing? Like, because I ain't got no animosity toward that dude. I love him like a
Right.
brother. He's always been there for me.
Right.
And then Vince like, yo, man, you two guys need to cut the bullshit. Y'all know y'all love each other. You know y'all miss each other. And then we like, yo, man, I ain't got nothing against Michael. Michael like, I ain't got nothing against Chuck. And he said, man, it's about time we let this bullshit go. You know you my
Right.
boy. I love you. I miss you. I miss you a lot too. And he says, hey, man, when basketball is over, come down to my golf course and let's get together and play some golf. And I'm really excited and looking forward to it.
Now can you pick up right where you left off and then bust Michael's balls about his little fake NBC correspondent? He was on for like, one episode and then he disappeared for
Yeah.
the rest. I mean, NBC pumping that up.
Yeah.
And it was like one interview. That
Well,
was such a terrible look.
it was really, that was a terrible look. Those are my guys at
Yeah.
NBC, Mark Lazarus and Greg Hughes, but that was a terrible look. First of all, we need Michael Jordan back in the NBA. I think that they should do that. Like, okay, he can sit down with them for an hour once a month to talk about relative stuff that's happening in the NBA. Because
Right.
I mean, come on, man. Anytime we can get Magic, because the three most important figures in NBA history are Michael, Magic, and Larry Bird. There's a lot of
Right.
great players, but those are the three most prominent players in NBA history. Because Magic and Larry saved the NBA. Because people, it's interesting. Everybody look at how great the NBA is today. They don't realize when the NBA came along before David Stern, the average salary was only $250,000. That's the average of all the players,
Yeah.
and it was only on Sunday on CBS. And how about this? Can you imagine the finals being tape delayed? That's how
Yeah.
that
I know.
I mean,
I
and
know.
fans think like there's always been games on 5 days a week like it is now. But that's all because of David Stern,
Right.
Magic Johnson, and Larry Bird, and obviously we call a once in a lifetime guy, Michael. So,
Right.
yeah, man, I'm really looking forward to that. And yeah, NBC, that was not a good look for them at all.
Yeah. Yeah. I knew it. I said at the time, whenever someone's a special contributor, that's not a real job. That's what people need to understand about the sports media business. Let me go back to inside the NBA. I'm just, I should have mentioned this before when we talk about it. Now, this is going to be the first year ever where this crew will be part of the NBA finals. I think, what I know people have, like I said, there were complaints, oh, the show hasn't been on enough. But now for the first time ever, we're getting Ernie, Shaq, Kenny, and Chuck during the finals. And I would assume you're going to travel to the finals and, you won't be in Atlanta. You'll probably be on location, I would assume, for the finals.
Yeah, hey
Um,
Jimmy, I am
how-
I am so excited about that. This be my
yeah,
first. I think we were actually talking about it last week. It's going to be awesome. The first time we've ever did the finals. It's going to be exciting. Um, I'm really looking forward to it. I'm not gonna
yeah,
lie. I'm excited for it. It's going to be awesome. Uh, uh, like you say, we're really excited about that. I can't wait. I'm excited.
yeah. I gotta admit, as a huge fan of the show and yourself, when I was researching and I saw, oh, they're doing the finals and we got San Antonio, I was like, Charles is going to be back in San Antonio. I mean, are we going to hear about the women of San Antonio? That's what I'm looking forward to.
You know, Tom James, who used to be the great PR guy for the Spurs, been tremendous to me all these years. He sent me some videos from San Antonio. If they win that series, I cannot wait to get back down there. It's gonna be fun. That's a great city.
Yeah,
It's a great city, and you know what? The NBA is better. The NBA is better when the Spurs are doing good, The Knicks are doing good. The Bulls are
Yeah.
doing good. The Celtics. There's certain teams that just we need them to do well. It's better when the Pistons are doing good. So I'm glad. And listen, the Spurs are going to be great for the foreseeable future, and
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to going down there.
Did he send you the
But
clip where
hey,
you
it's
yeah, yeah.
not over yet because
Right.
you think
Right.
you know what's interesting about that game. As great as Victor played, man, they had to go to double overtime to win that game.
Yeah.
And if
Yeah.
you've been around long enough, you can't overreact to one game. I mean,
Right.
because if
Right.
he misses that three to tie the game, OKC wins that game, and he said, "Man, he had a great game, but they lost." But man,
Right.
that was a heck of a game, and people can't overreact. Like they can't assume we're going to San Antonio. They can't assume that because
Right.
man, that was a hell of a game.